Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to our next episode of People's Talk, organized by the volunteers of the Creative Society Project. You will hear people on their field talking and answering critical questions. We want to be able to raise awareness regarding the situation of our society, of understanding what is not working in this field, what could be the solution, and improve what people can do themselves and how they can build a different format of society. My co-host today is Anja from Netherlands. Anja, the word is yours.
Greetings, dear viewers, and my pleasure today is to introduce our guests. So I would like to welcome Ms. Schouten, HR PR coach, health podcaster from Belgium. Greetings, Mir. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Anja and Robert. I'm very happy to be here. It's so important that everybody in the world knows that we are creators. We can create our own world.
Thank you. And also, we are glad to welcome today Mustapha Adamu Indabawa. And he's on-demand HausaTeam leader at Translators Without Borders from Nigeria. Greetings, Mustapha, and thank you for joining us.
How are you all? I am glad to be here, and I am really, really happy to be among people who want to make sure that everybody have a better world to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And today we would like to talk about such topics as transparency and reliability of information provided by mass media, about climate and refugee crisis, and how this and other issues can be solved when we change the format from the consumer-oriented to the creative society. And now I would like to pass the floor to you, Mir. And could you please share, as we know, you would like to talk about the importance of information and transparency. Could you please share what issues you see in modern society in this field?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Anja. I think it's very important that the issues with the mainstream media are solved now. They are solving themselves a little bit already, because the mainstream media are not telling the truth to the people. And I am a public relations and human resource management coach. And for my work, I use media lists with email addresses of journalists from mainstream media and alternative media. And during the last 2 years, I have found out that many journalists have stopped working for the mainstream media. So I had to take away their email addresses from my list or change the media where they were working for to a not mainstream media, like an alternative media, like, for example, BitChute instead of YouTube.
So basically, does it mean that who is paying for the media? So they are actually presenting those interests. Am I correct?
Yes. Most of what the mainstream media are publishing or streaming or putting on TV is propaganda.
I would like to ask you about, so what would be, I don't know how to say this, but I also have a lot of friends that actually were working for the mainstream media, and as you said, they switched to the alternative media or start doing the job as individual reporters or something like that. So why do you think these issues actually are happening?
Because there are real disasters going on in the world, and the mainstream media are not giving the people the truth on the television. And those journalists don't want to work for the mainstream media anymore, because when you become a journalist, you think you are going to tell the people the truth, and they cannot tell the truth if the mainstream media don't film the truth, and they use actors instead of real people on the news.
Yeah, thank you so much for highlighting it, and it's really showing that we kind of choosing profession because we understand that it should work for people. It should work really to help every person and society as a whole. But in our consumer format, we are facing completely different situation in that even profession which we are choosing. So this is really the issue which should be highlighted, and we should understand how to solve it. So thank you so much for speaking about that.
You're welcome.
Mustapha, we know that you also help refugees in Nigeria. And what are the problems that actually you face in your field of work that on daily basis that you would like to share? What is not working properly and you think should be worked differently?
Actually, I came across a lot of issues that are man-made, because there are a lot of things that are only meant to create more tension and more problems. Like Nigeria is a country that have over 500 different languages. And you see people in northern Nigeria, particularly people are speaking Hausa language. And most of the humanitarian workers, about 90% of them are from southern part of Nigeria. So there is always a language gap between them. And this language gap create a lot of tension, a lot of problem of communication between the humanitarian workers and the affected population. And sometimes I came across a lot of, let me say, when people are talking about health issues like polio, there are donors who give money out, who do a lot of things that people should go and vaccinate people. And the people doesn't want it. And the humanitarian workers, they don't want to come back to the donor to say that the people could not accept it. So instead of them to get a way out of the situation, they dig a hole and bury the whole vaccine. When I came there, we were making research on the language barriers. They show us a hole where all the vaccines were deposited and buried. And this was reported to the donors that all the vaccines have been applied. So, and there are lots of misconceptions about so many things like food security. When you say food security, we have to find it difficult for us to explain to people what that means, because so many people assumed that you pack a bag of rice, bag of grains in a store, then you assign the military to be guarding it. And there is issue with mental health. Mental health is very, very important. It is a key point because most of the affected population, they have issues with mental health. And what they wrote there is mental health psychosocial support. And the word mental in Hausa language, it refers to as somebody that is a madman. So most of the people with mental issues, they could not be able to go to the center to access guidance or medication. So there are a lot of things that are happening which actually are not are not pleasant at all. And most of the women are being raped on a daily basis. Girls, married women, and so many, by the military, by the humanitarian workers, because sometimes when people were assigned to give out blankets, mattresses, food items, they used to demand sex in return of what they will give. And there are a lot of complaints, but people cannot be able to come out and say it because the complaint mechanism is very, very limited. There are suggestion boxes everywhere. But if a woman is spotted writing anything, putting it inside the suggestion box, she will have a problem.
Oh, that's terrible, Mustapha. That's terrible.
Yes, so we have been clamoring for humanitarian organizations that they should find another means. They should find another system that women and children can complain anonymously. But unfortunately, up to this time, in so many IDP camps, people don't have anonymous way to complain. So, but when they trust you, they will tell you what happened, and when they tell you what happened, then sometimes you will come back home, you cannot sleep at all.
Well, I'm happy you are telling their story, Mustapha, because women who are raped, that is just so terrible.
Honestly speaking, there are girls that are minors, 13, 14 years, but they will be raped. I know I have seen a girl that gave birth at the age of 15. So this used to give us sleepless night because we see things and we will be doing the best we could, but sometimes there is nothing you can do about it. The system is corrupt.
Yes, the system should change. And that's why we should create a new society, a better society. And we are all doing our best to do that. And I'm sure everybody that is listening to this and is watching this wants to help you, Mustapha.
This is why I welcome this idea very well. I love it dearly to my heart.
Yeah, that's true. And thank you for sharing. And I'm just thinking about, we just now talked about media, right? So what is the real role of media in the society to inform people, and which picture and which role models we're creating by media? For me, it's an interesting question. What do you think? How it should function actually in society? What should be the role of information? And here, in fact, coming not on the role of mainstream media, but also of every person. Which information we're transmitting, what we're sharing, and how we actually communicate. Maybe you would like to share something on this point.
Absolutely. As a journalist myself, I know the mainstream media is not doing justice to humanity at all. Because when you look at the media in Nigeria, are owned by politicians, and they are dancing to the tune of their masters. Anybody that establish a media, be it print or electronics, his priority is to bring out the best out of him. He doesn't care what people feels, what they know, what they understand. They have no programs that tackles corruption, no program about this. They have no programs that tackles problems about the environment. They don't care about this. there is no dedicated program that listen to the refugees and report their stories. No program, no dedicated program. And if the humanitarian society over there want to create a program that will do that, they have to pay a huge amount of money, and which they don't do at all. But in a situation whereby we need to disseminate information, the right information to the right people, then we have a very big task ahead of us.
Yes.
Because we should use the medium that we think are free, like YouTube, like social media, Instagram, Facebook, and the rest.
Yes.
And apart from this, there are a lot of people that doesn't even own Android phones. When we make a survey in northern Borno, in a town called Bama, Bama is a town that was devastated by Boko Haram. More than 70% of the population doesn't own Android phone. And among the 30% that owns it, about 10% of them, they only use Android phones to watch drama, to watch film that is sent to them through WhatsApp. But they have no knowledge of buying data, browse the internet, and get information.
Yes.
So yes. So we decided to make a plan and enlighten them about the importance of using Android phones. And then at that time we started creating 1-minute jingle on different issues, and we start sending them through WhatsApp.
Oh, good.
Yes. So that was how we started making them know.
Well, in the Netherlands, WhatsApp is being watched by the government, and the police can read your WhatsApp messages. Facebook is owned by Mark Zuckerberg, and even though they try to change the name, they're still doing criminal stuff, doing censorship. I think WhatsApp is also owned by Mark Zuckerberg and Instagram. So we have to be very careful what we say on Facebook because it's being censored. And talking about refugees, I live in Belgium now. I was born in the Netherlands, and I have moved to Belgium because I didn't like the Netherlands anymore and the corrupt government there. And I went to Belgium, and then I was in this refugee house, and there were people from Syria, from everywhere. And there were also women from Belgium, Flemish women, who had been treated very badly by their husband, for example. And the women from Belgium, they had to pay €25 a day to be able to stay in that refugee house. But the women from, for example, Syria, did not have to pay anything. So that's how the Belgian government is trying to set up people against each other, because people from Belgium are angry that people from Belgium cannot stay in a refugee house for free.
Yeah, thank you so for highlighting. It's like listening, just coming out. There's so much information which we really don't know, and so many issues which people are facing everywhere. But here, yes, coming the question. So how we really can solve that, and what means we can use as ordinary people when we're not talking about mainstream media, but what initiatives can be done by people themselves. And now, as we discussed it, we see so many problems. And do we all know that we have choice to make something better? Do all people know that they have possibility to live differently? And while we're realizing the problems that we face in all spheres of our society, we also can see the perspectives which are opening ahead of us. So now I just would like to present one short video and see what choice we have as people.
The 22nd year of the 21st century. People waste precious time at jobs they don't love to provide for their existence, while they could use artificial intelligence to create a comfortable living environment and do what they really enjoy. They struggle for health and they die of supposedly incurable diseases, while they could prevent the development of diseases at their inception stage and use technology to prolong life. Garbage has flooded the planet. Clean air and water have become a luxury. Meanwhile, we could solve the environmental problem once and for all and turn the Earth into a true paradise. Scientists of the world calculate how many years remain for humankind to live until the mineral resources run out. Although we could master free energy technology and achieve abundance for everyone. People kill each other for mercantilistic interests of a few individuals, instead of living in peace, making joint decisions, constantly evolving and exploring other planets. The climate wipes entire cities off the face of the earth, depriving people of everything, including their lives. But we could already combine all the scientific potential and not only solve the climate problem, but also artificially control the weather. Time cannot be turned back, but we still have a chance to change everything. Learn more at the International Forum on May the 7th. Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, and choose your own future.
When there is a problem, there is always solution.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we could see that all the problems basically originates from the fact that we agree with something that is not right. So let's ask our guests, what should be the correct approach from their perspective, Mir, from your PR/HR coach expertise? What should be the correct approach of either media? What should and how should people act in order so that we would have a chance to change this format of society to a better one?
Every journalist on the world should refuse to work for a boss that doesn't tell the truth anymore. And if every journalist in the world would do that, the mainstream media who was lying wouldn't have any more people to work for them.
So, as you can see, people, it's very simple. It's easy. And we just have to start acting as people, as human beings, and to see each other as human beings. So, do you think that not only the media, but also, I know that there are a lot of corporations, they do kind of like courses or teachings for their employees. Those should also be aimed on kind of bringing up the best values of a human. Am I correct?
Yes, you are. That's why I always combine a PR and an HR strategy, because companies should be honest. They should not be greenwashing their company. They should really act green. They should try and take the bicycle to work instead of the car. They should tell their employees that they should treat their clients the best they can treat them. So be honest to them. Treat your clients like their family. Treat your employees like their family. There are some employers who are doing the right thing. For example, there's one employer, he has a sports car, and when he's on vacation, there is always one of his employees who is allowed to borrow his car and to do some fun things with it. It's an electrical car. Of course, it also depends on how the electricity is being produced, because when the electricity is produced by windmills, the magnet that is in the big windmill is produced, there's something in it that is produced in China, and there are millions of people dying because of that production process. There's poison in a lake in China because of that production process. So that's not the solution. A windmill, a wind turbine, is needing a lot of maintenance and new parts. And by the time it is dead, or by the time you cannot use the wind turbine anymore, it has not produced as much energy as it has cost to produce it. And of course, a human life is invaluable. So all these Chinese people who are dying for production of wind turbines is terrible. And stuff like that. I know a person in America who is going to produce floating cars, and they were working with anti-gravity. I mean, Mr. Tesla had already gotten that information from our extraterrestrial friends years ago, but he was put in prison. People didn't want that technology, but there is anti-gravity. We here in a creative society, we are helped by Jana from the planet Van Veen. It's an artificial planet, and they control the weather on their planets. I mean, why couldn't we? Why couldn't we make sure that everybody has enough food? If we would share the food we have now and not throw half of it away, every person in the world would have a plate full of food. And I have started a podcast about health and well-being myself, because I want the truth to be out there. We're not only talking about food, we are talking about mental health. We are talking about how we can help Mother Earth, how we can plant trees. And it's a free podcast, but when some people donate, we give that money to people who plant trees in Colombia. They're my friends. I met them. They're walking bare feet, even in October here in Belgium. And they are telling us we should take better care of the earth. We should keep the air clean, keep the water clean. But it's not enough. We all should take our responsibility. And we, all our fellow people, we should help each other and not help the corrupt people.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm just listening, and in my mind, I'm getting back to the point of mass media and importance of information. When we openly can know all the facts, what is happening, because today we are being told something about, as you mentioned, about windmills, for example. I'm sure very less people know this information, and we don't know what actually is working for benefit of us and how it's working. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I also would like to ask you, Mustapha, how you see how these issues which we discussed, how they can be improved, which improvement you see from your side that it will really turn to that it will work for benefit of people, that people will really feel safe and help each other, how we can improve that.
Yeah, I also share the opinion of the mainstream media, because mainstream media is talking to people directly. There's no barrier between people and the media. Like in my own part of the world, there is a drama, television drama, a radio drama that more than 90% of our population, they love to be glued to television, watching Hausa television series. So I believe a lot of mind can be changed through film. That is one. And secondly, I think children should be also targeted right from primary school, because there are a lot of things that are happening. I could remember still what my primary school teacher told me when I'm crossing the road, that you should always face the traffic when you're walking. You should not give traffic your back. You should do this, you should do that. I can always remember that. And that is what I have been doing right from childhood up to this moment. So let us, our kids, understand how important it is to serve humanity. Let them understand that they are human and they should help in protecting humanity. So if we can get kids and give them this idea, if the idea goes into their head, I believe they are going to grow up as adults that we need. So I believe schools, maybe in the curriculum, a subject should be introduced about humanity. So this subject is what will show the importance of humanity, the environment we live in, and the importance of being real, not fake.
I agree, because here in Belgium, the children, they are listening to books on CDs in the cars. And then I listen to it because I adopted 3 children. And then I hear there's always one person in the story that is Dutch from the Netherlands. And that is the bad guy or the bad woman. And then the other persons are from Belgium. They're Belgian, they're the good guys. So they're already setting up children against each other. So Belgian children from Belgium, they set up the children to the Dutch children from the Netherlands, which is the neighboring country. Also in soap operas, I can see the same thing going on television, that Belgian people are being the good guys on Belgian television and the Dutch people are being the bad guys, and they're being set up against each other. Also in movies, about in the Belgian movies, the Belgian people are the good guys, and there's always one person in the movie who's from the Netherlands, who's the bad guy, which is very hard. I mean, I'm trying to do business here in Belgium. I'm Dutch. I have a Dutch accent. I cannot hide it. I'm not going to hide it. I have a lot of trouble getting clients here because the people don't trust Dutch people. They are being brainwashed. And even you, when you are watching a movie from America, there are milliseconds of a logo of, for example, Pepsi Cola in a soap opera or in a movie that you don't even see consciously, but they are influencing your brain. Buy Pepsi Cola, buy Pepsi Cola. And it's something that's very bad for your health. It's full of sugar. And I don't allow my children to watch advertisements for Pepsi Cola. But if they are watching something on YouTube from America, they are being brainwashed. It's coming into their brain. It's not good. So I don't have television anymore. I don't want my children to watch television.
I agree with you. And it's not only now that you mentioned that people from Netherlands are being set up against people from Belgium. I have few friends that they do live in Belgium, and they already said that it's also happening within the country when they're setting the people speaking French against the people speaking Flemish, which is nonsense.
Exactly. And there are also people in Belgium who speak German, and they don't even teach German in the schools here. They only teach Flemish and which is like Dutch, Flemish and French. Well, I speak Flemish and French and German fluently, but I'm one of the only Belgians, because the people in the French part of Belgium, they learn Dutch in school, Flemish, but they're not. They don't have to learn it. They can choose between English and blemish, which is terrible.
That's really true. And just again and again coming back, to the point about truthful, reliable information. And again, what is the main point of that information? Because information is also a very powerful tool, and we can use it in the way which will unite people, will help people to find understanding, communicate their problems, issues, or it can be used as it's being used now to divide people and set against each other. So it depends, in fact, on each and every one of us. And it's great that today we have all the technologies, we have all the means when we can directly communicate and we can understand how we want to use information, which world we are choosing, and which information we are agree to accept and implement in our life. So thank you so much for highlighting that.
And basically, the only format of society where the human life is literally the highest value, not just on paper, is the creative society. So let's have a look at a short video. What are the benefits of the creative society for every single person on the planet?
The Creative Society. A society where human life is the highest value, where people respect each other. A safe world without wars or cataclysms. A society where people are confident about the future. Affordable food and housing for all. Work is for 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. Free education and health care. Economic stability. A world without inflation and crises. Available technology. Solution of environmental problems. Would you like to live in such a society? It's not a utopia. It can be our future. A future that we can build together.
It can be our future that we can build together. Well, we already have the technology. The technology already exists that we can build this kind of Eden on our planet. So why is it being withheld and why we're not using it? This is basically what actually that last missing piece that could help us to live better, live a life that is full of joy, happiness, and love.
Yes, really. Creative society format is that format where every person can really live fulfilled life. And today, to know about and to build it, every person needs to know about this choice and about this opportunity. And I would like to ask you, Mustapha, you know about creative society, you know those benefits which it can give to every person. Could you please share, in your opinion, how it will change life of every person you know, and what benefits you really see from your perspective?
As I said earlier, I have to say that again. People need to be convinced. People need to know why they should do this. People need to know why they should do it, and if they do it, what is going to be the benefit of it. So definitely media plays a very, very important role in anything. Not only media, there are a lot of issues when they came up like infections. When it is time, sometimes in Africa, you can see people having somewhere around March, April, you can see people having diarrhea at any slightest time. Then the pandemic will go very wide. So sometimes people use to gather themselves. They create stories. They go to each and every location where people gather. They demonstrated drama there, and people will laugh. They will joke, and then the message will be passed. So this is a one way, because the mainstream media, as we pointed out earlier, are not helping matters. But we have local NGOs like Startup Kano. Startup Kano is a local NGO that want to see Kano people have a better life. And this local NGO, I am part of it. They always want to see people to see what is right and what is wrong. If you do this, it's right. If you do this, it's wrong. So I think I'm going to propagate the mission of this society through the NGO, through the local NGO, because we used to have a radio program. We buy airtime. When we buy airtime, and I am one of the consultant, so I can be able to synchronize our idea with the idea of the local NGO, because we are all moving towards the same thing. So there are civil societies in Kano that propagate that people should do what is right, because this society is a society whereby if you are a poor man, or if you don't have defense, then somebody that is rich or somebody from government can do whatever he likes, and you can get arrested, you can get beaten. But these civil societies, they come up now, they will go to court, they will defend the less privileged. So that is not enough. By joining this association, I understand that protecting the less privileged is not enough. Even the person that is harming the society should also be aware that what he is doing is not good, that he should change for the better. Thank you.
I agree with you, Mustapha. We are all love, so why don't we all just spread love and do loving things? And if you're a Muslim, you should think, what would Muhammad do in my place? Or if you're a Christian, you should think, what would Yeshua do in my place? Or Jesus, or whatever you call them. And, try to live from love. And one of the very important issues as well is equality between people, equality between men and women. Why should a female soccer player get paid less than a male soccer player? There's this gender pay gap everywhere still. It's incredible. I mean, I went to the United Arab Emirates to look for a job, and I saw women in totally niqab, totally covered, next to other women in miniskirts, working arm in arm in a shopping mall. And they were free. They were free to do what they wanted. And in the United Arab Emirates, they were free to start a company now. And back then, it was in 1998, I was driving the rental car, and my husband was sitting next to me because he didn't know how to drive an automatic gearbox. And we went to the desert, and people were really looking at us. Wow, a woman can drive a car. They didn't even know that existed. So we are going the right direction, but it's still not okay. We should do something about it. We should tell our bosses, hey, why is that guy getting paid more than that girl? They're doing the same work.
bad.
Yes, that is correct. It's always up to us because we still live in a consumer format. So we must create a demand also to our politicians, to our representatives, what we want. And because then they will have to act based on the demand, because they ask on they work and act on the demand. If we don't demand it, I mean, as a standard, then why should they do it? It's up to us to demand from them what we actually want.
Yes, because many people are not going to vote anymore in Belgium because there's not one political party that is not corrupt or that is not doing bad things. So this guy, I know, he created a new political party this year, and I really like it because there are many people who didn't want to vote anymore, and they're going to vote for that party because they are really creating the creative society that we all want.
Yes, you're right. I was talking to my friends regarding the elections back when it was, and many people actually have the approach, oh, I will vote for this party because I don't want that party to win. Hey guys, but you're not voting for something you want, but you're voting, choosing a lesser bad, just not the other guys would do this, win the election. So you're already bargaining something, and you're not presenting your own wish, your own desire.
Yes, and there are also kings and queens who are doing bad things, and we should just tell them to go away. Not all of the kings and queens, but there are also kings and queens who have a lot of power, and they're doing bad things. It's terrible.
Something, what you said now, something similar is taking place in Nigeria right now. We have two major political parties, and these two major political parties are only swapping people. If you are not comfortable here, you move here. If you are not here, you move here. So we all see them as one, because it's a one coin, and because the people that are here are here, the people that are here are here. They keep on swapping. So one of the greatest politicians in Nigeria, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, now established a new political party. We call it Third Force. So this Third Force, because he is not corrupt, we are sure about this, and he really want to bring change in Nigeria, because when he was a governor in my state, Kano here, he sponsored over 5,000 poor children to different universities in UK, Switzerland, America, and the rest.
That's great.
Yes, because he wants them to have a better education. And
how many women are in that party?
He was the one that sponsored the first female pilot in Nigeria. And she is only 24 years right now, and she is a pilot. So among the 5,000 children, I believe there are more than 2,000 girls. And within Nigeria, he sponsored over 7,000.
That's good.
Poor people's children, and he established two universities.
That's good, but then they should teach at those universities about the creative society, because otherwise it still doesn't work, and they're still learning the wrong things in university like they're learning now. And I went to university myself, and half of what I learned is total nonsense, and I cannot use as an honest person and doing an honest business. And you were talking about a pilot. I know someone who's a woman who was one of the first pilots where I lived at that moment. I've lived all over the world. And she saw extraterrestrial ships, and she was not allowed to talk about it. She almost became crazy. Then she had to install, she was not only a pilot, but she was also a technician. She had to install things in the airplane to spray chemicals in the air. And she didn't want to do that, so she went away. But the air company, they tried to brainwash her not to tell anything about it. And she almost became crazy. It's just terrible.
Sad.
Yeah. And, thank you so for highlighting these questions. I'm just listening and thinking today we have again this always dividing. You have to choose between two bad. You have to choose something. Okay, I don't want that party. I will have to vote for this one, something else. But what is awesome, in fact, that today we understand that we can change the whole system. Because no matter how wonderful we should have one person and wants to change something, one person unfortunately can't do that. And I really like the words, as one professor was saying, that we look at politicians as leaders who are leading us. But in fact, they are looking at us and what is our demand, what we want, what that they implement, as Robert said today. But if we are not expressing any wish, then they do whatever they want, because they don't see what we as people, what we as country or as humanity as a whole, where we are forwarding. And it's so awesome that today the creative society model is that model which is beneficial for every person, for every politician, for every person in every profession, and it's that which really can unite each one of us. So I'm really grateful, for highlighting these points, and I'm really grateful that today we can inform each other that there is something that will bring benefit for each and every person. But yes, we need to know about this chance and we need to know about this choice. I just have a small question, like today creative society, it started from people from all over the world. But comparatively to 8 billion people living in the world, it's still a small number who is promoting, popularizing this idea of unity. And in your opinion, when we start using all the tools which we discussed today, like film industry, mass media, social networks, and everything, and really spread this idea of unity and that we can build a better world, how will it change? How fast? Or what every person can do in this regard, so that we understand what we can do already today? Could you please just shortly share your ideas of this? Mir, maybe you would like to share yours.
Yes, I think we are all responsible for telling the truth, and we should not be afraid. We should know that we are protected by other people and also by extraterrestrial people, and that we can tell the truth without being killed or locked up. And most people nowadays, they have cameras, so I would say use Facebook against Facebook and film it, and use it the right way, and use every tool you have to tell the truth and to ask what you want. If you don't ask, you don't get it.
Thank you. Mustapha, maybe you would like to add, you were already saying about how to share information about creative society, but maybe what else you would say to every person, what every person can do already today, so that each and every person on our planet know that we have this possibility.
As I said earlier, we need to like when Translators Without Borders came in, before they came to Nigeria, I was employed. I started going to the student union in the universities. I will ask the department that, please, I have a 30 minutes presentation that I want to make. I invite students, we sit down together, we brainstorm, we talk about it. So I think this system should also be applied to create a society apart from the film, because believe me, in northern Nigeria, where I live, film plays a very, very important role in shaping the lives of many people that I know.
Yeah, that's really true. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So, dear guests, thank you so much for such an inspirational discussion. And dear viewers, thank you for being with us here today. Please share your questions, which we can raise in the future talks. And now I want to invite all other experts and people to join our new show, Experts Talk and People Talk, also Scientists Talk, because this format is a platform for colleagues from the same or related fields, but often different countries, to discuss different issues you face in your field, share experience, and most importantly, exchange ideas on what should be done in each sphere so that it would work effectively and beneficially for all people.
Yes, that's true. And if you're ready to make a change, and if you feel that you want to do something which will be beneficial to the whole society, please contact us at info@creativesociety.com. And also, we would like to inform that nowadays, volunteers from all over the world, from more than 180 countries, are preparing for the next global forum, which is called Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity. And if you want to join the preparation, and if you want to participate in research and in finding the true facts and about different fields of our society, please contact us on the email info@creativesociety.com. And I'm very grateful to all our guests. Thank you so much. Thank you to your guests for being with us. Thank you for sharing your experience, your knowledge. It was very valuable and enriching. And thank you, dear viewers, for being with us. So see you next time on our next talk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.